Welcome back. If you're a Wildcat fan, you know you cannot get enough updates about your favorite team.
Absolutely, and that's why we have ESPN Tucson Sports guru Zach Clark joining us now with Wildcat updates.
Wow, I don't know if I can live up to that. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
The guru.
Feel the pedestal.
Dude, it's so good to be back.
Yeah, well, Zach, today's a perfect day to come on because this weekend was like jam-packed full of U of A stuff.
I haven't stopped moving since sometime on Friday afternoon between basketball, football, and then right back into basketball yesterday. Just a crazy time to be a Wildcat fan, and that's why we love this so much. It's very exciting.
Oh, yeah, and we were talking about the football game actually at the top of the show.
My goodness.
Yeah.
I'm still, I can't. And this has happened. This is the third time this season it's come down to the last play at Arizona now. One of those times there was the missed field goal, but, man, you look at yesterday, or Saturday, excuse me, that game was wild between the fake field goal, the last second made field goal. My goodness.
So they call that icing. I hope I said that right at the top of the show.
icing,
That's
right.
when they call the timeout, and then they...
Right, and that worked against Skowron in the USC game where they lost, and he did miss. We talked to him after the game, and he told us that he heard the whistle the first time, so he was more relaxed when he missed it, and then he came back the next time full force and just split the uprights. It was amazing.
So it worked out in his favor.
Yeah, because, I mean, if they don't call a timeout and he misses, the game is over and Arizona loses. So sometimes when you ice the kicker, that's the risk that you run, that you give the kid a second chance if he missed it the first time.
Yeah. Do you think that all of this kind of, well, and by the way, I love those last moment games.
Oh, it's why we watch.
Oh, I love those. But do you think that the kind of like the drama and everything that's been surrounding UA Sports right now, is that something, that's higher now this season for some reason?
It certainly feels like it, doesn't it? I mean, we talked to Rich Rodriguez after the game, and he said, and he's been coaching for a long time, 30 years, he said he can't remember having a season like this where it came down to the last play. And it's not just the 3 games I mentioned, a couple of times on the road as well against Oregon, a late defensive stop sealed the win. So I can't remember, and if a guy like Rich Rodriguez can't remember, then, boy, that's got to be something.
It's got to be something.
Yeah. And, I mean, for all that 30 years of coaching and having this be kind of a season that sticks out, that's pretty rare.
So, as a commentator, are you impressed with what this season's been so far?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at, we didn't know a lot going into the season, the quarterback, such a huge question mark, and Anu Solomon has struggled a bit down the stretch, but at 8-2 with 2 games to go, Arizona has won more games in the regular season than they ever have under Rich Rodriguez, with 2 more to go, so they can only add to that. And yeah, I'm impressed. And again, just not only the sports value, but the entertainment value as well. You mentioned just you just don't know what's going to happen, and things can change in a second.
Well, I think people, it's becoming more popular, I think, to go to these games. Wouldn't you say? Is it more full than it's ever been, you think?
Yeah, the attendance is something that they've really tried to work on, and nothing breeds better attendance like winning. And again, they've done that 8 times this season. And so I think not only in this season, but going forward as well, they've already sold out for Arizona State, but that game sells itself every year.
Oh, yeah. And then we did say we hit at basketball twice this weekend.
Twice, yeah.
Yeah, and so how is that season going?
Season underway now, 2 games in, and it's hard to evaluate to a certain extent because the competition isn't, I don't want to say anything bad about the opponents, but it's not what they're going to be seeing for the most part this season. But I think early on, Arizona looks pretty sharp, and especially those new digs. McHale Center looks fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Lots of new renovations, new looks for them.
$75 million they've spent to instead of building a new stadium, to just uplift what they have on the inside, new seats, new floors, the lighting is different, video boards everywhere. They've made it not only a better place to play, but more importantly, a better place to watch, which is really important when you're trying to sell tickets and raise money.
Definitely. So what do you think of last night's game?
Look at that game against Cal State Northridge. Finally, we see, well, I shouldn't say finally, but you see Stanley Johnson emerge for the first time as a dominant scorer. This kid as a freshman, you see him, and he seems almost not real. He's huge. 6.5 feet tall, 18 years old. The kid is a brick house. You look at Arizona, and I look forward to a lot of really exciting games this season. They have a nice combination of really raw but high-end young talent. They've got a lot of returning guys, a fifth-year senior running the point, Brandon Ashley back from injury. I think this season is going to be, much like it is in football, one that we'll all remember.
I love that. And you know what? Even if my team doesn't win on those nail biters, I still call it a win for the game, just because so many people get into it.
Well, and that's the best thing. When you're a fan of a certain team, you always want your team to win, but a lot of times you're watching a national game and you don't have a vested interest in either one of the teams, so all you want is that high entertainment value. And again, that game for Arizona was on national television. The whole country got to see that. So you're exactly right. That's what you want.
Well, that's exciting for the school, exciting for the team, and exciting for Tucson, too.
Yeah.
So what are the prospects this year, you think, going all the way to March?
You're looking for basketball, we're talking.
Oh, yeah.
I think that Arizona is a legitimate Final Four contender, though it is so hard to win those 8 games in a row in the tournament.